I didn't want to leave the house without 06, 12, and 13. Man, listen, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifices to get those rings. I was in heat culture for 16 years. I'm grabbing those rings. We are back.
Hopefully everyone is safe that can be safe. I'm Bob.
I'm Dwyane. Most important thing when we start our podcast, we always do check-ins.
Right.
And that's always the most important thing for you and I is to check in with each other, especially coming off of why we're back. It's because we had to take a break because of the fires, in LA. And on our last podcast, we did an intro to talk about, us shooting at the exact same time that the Santa Ana winds and then the Palisades, the fires have started. And so the check-in starts there for me, bro. I'm just going back to us sitting here talking about what we didn't know about.
Right.
We knew about the winds. We were hearing the Santa Ana, kind of pop off, but we never experienced the fires in California. And so in that moment of being here, and once I saw that the fires were in Palisades, then even though we were still doing our pod, my mind was going to my family, was going to all the things that I needed to do. And so right away, man, when we got done, start going and get all the information of what was going on in California, I had my family pack bags like right away. Tuesday, everybody had their bags packed Tuesday night.
I see you're a prepper.
I'm a prepper. I'm like OCD. I'm focused. Everything has to be a certain way. And so I hit everybody in my family like, hey, let's pack bags. Let's get all things that we need, all valuable things, birth certificates, passports, anything that is important to you that you feel that you can take with us. Make sure we grab it, make sure we have it prepared because we don't know what's going to happen.
True.
And at that time, the place that I live was far away from the fires. And Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and then Thursday. And by Thursday, fires was right behind your home.
Yes.
And right behind my home at the same time.
Right.
And so I had a moment where, as a person who prepares and a person who's a leader of his family, I had to, come up with ideas and plans for my family. So as I said here on the podcast, had hotels booked already.
Right.
Of different places we can go.
Right.
You guys were like, what? Yes. Laughing at me.
Hey.
You always laughing at me like, why
Came back on me real quick too.
2 days later. And so in that moment, man, I got a call from Lisa, got a call from your wife. It was probably about 2:30 when I got a call from her.
Right.
Around 2:30, she hit me and she said, hey, someone has just started a fire, or a fire had just started behind a house on the trail.
Right.
And so I got in my car roughly like 10 minutes later and I started to drive around because I wanted to see what was going on, knowing that the fires were behind the trail. And so, man, I'm driving, I got video, I'm driving, and it's paramedics, ambulance, police cars, people driving crazy, stuff going everywhere. It was like a movie.
Bruh.
And I'm driving and I'm trying to take video and I see the smoke. And what I realized is from the first time when she hit me at 2:30 to now at the time when I'm driving around about 2:45, the smoke has grown.
Right.
And so as I'm driving, man, I see people coming out their houses, like on their phones, not knowing what to do. And so I'm like, I got to get back home to my family. And so I get back home to my family. I go in, I talk to everybody real quick and I go outside to see the fires.
You can see it from your house?
I can see it from my house now.
Wow.
So I have a video at 3:11 p.m. on Thursday. And so I'm sitting out there and I'm looking at these fires. And I have already planned and prepared for what I'm going to do if I have to make a decision. But it's hard to make that decision in real time because you kind of freeze a little bit. So I had 0.1 second of I was like, snap back. And I went into the house and I said, it's go time. My wife talked about it at her speech at my birthday. But I walked in like, yo, it's go time. Let's get our shit and let's go.
Right.
And bro, we got out of the house in 10 minutes. My family up the road went to a hotel, which we had booked already, thank God, because the hotels were selling out all through Santa Barbara, all through Orange County. All the hotels was booked. And so at the same time as I'm trying to make sure that my family is out of the home, that we're safe, we have a place to go. My mom's here. I got my kids here. Different places, different locations. So I got to make sure at the same time as I'm doing this, I'm driving, I'm on the phone, I'm making sure that everybody has a place to go.
Right.
Just in case each area has to evacuate.
Right.
And so, bro, it was crazy. A lot was going on. You're praying for the families that are affected by it. You're seeing all this stuff. It's really like a bad movie that's happening in real time.
Facts.
You have friends that are being affected by the fires that have lost their homes. You're talking to them, you're checking in with them. bro, it was scary. It was a scary time here in Los Angeles. And so, man, my check-in is to be sitting here today talking with you, family healthy. We didn't lose anything personally, but, obviously we know a lot of people who was affected, and we're still not out of it.
Right.
As we sit here right now, we're still hearing some wins.
Right.
We're in our third round of heavy winds in LA. And so, man, just going through that time, never been in that space before where I had to make the decision, not only for my family, but not only for my family and my home, my entire family. It was a scary time, but also too, like, it was a time to be a leader. And you realize in that point, like, we all talk about being the man of the family and, being this leader, but when this decision has to be made, what are you going to do? And in that moment for me, like, I did what I needed to do, and it was just to get my family to safety. And then now for us, it's about making plans about how we can, give back and help the community in LA. So that's my check-in.
That's dope. That's funny because I have my check-in is similar, and listening to that, you just kind of just brought me back to that time. Like last week or a week and a half ago, it was just, I'm from Florida, and we've been dealing with hurricanes since I can remember. Every time somebody talks about hurricane, I think about Andrew. When I say, is it as bad as Andrew? Because Andrew, I remember when Andrew happened, it wiped out Homestead. And to the point where it was floored. And like homes, I knew families and friends that just lost everything. So I have PTSD, but ever since Andrew happened, every time a hurricane came, we would be like, is it gonna come? Is it gonna be the big one?
Yeah.
But I got jaded. I ain't gonna lie. So this is 92. I'm 14, 15 years old. I've been jaded with natural disasters after a while because you think this is the next big one. This is the next big one. This is the next big one. So I come here. I'm from Florida. I had a little bit of naivety in that sense where I'm thinking, all right, it's just some wind. I've been through wind. Wind is so we made the fun. We made the jokes
we have
about
hurricane winds.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, hurricane winds. Without the rain, we good.
Yeah.
And then it got real, because you watching it happen. And for those who don't understand, if you don't live in LA, to watch TV and notice that things are just happening so fast. And you're like, it's felt like a movie because it's like, what am I watching? Like, I'm seeing a fire here and a fire here and a fire here, and they're just moving and moving. And I'm like, is it really that bad? And you seeing, and I give credit to the communication from emergency response because they was like,
they was on top of it.
On the spot. And it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Shout out to Watch Duty app, by the way.
Oh,
shout out to Watch Duty
whoever
app.
created that app, genius. But as this all happening, I'm like, my wife is like, and my wife, God bless her soul, she's very intense. You're a prepper, she's an uber prepper. She had her bags packed Tuesday night as well. And I'm like,
well, me and her talked.
I know. So yeah. and here's the thing. For me, my biggest thing with prepping is more about making sure my family's good, but I like to have a calm demeanor. I feel like when people get erratic and people get like out their wits, you can't really focus or move. So I feel you on that. So I'm like the opposite in that regards. And I kept telling myself, well, it's over there. It's over there. It's over there. And for those from Florida who, to give you an example, when I try to call them to describe what happened, just imagine a fire starting in Coral Gables and Coconut Grove and another one starting in Miami Gardens at the exact same time.
Yeah. Like,
that's how crazy it sounds. And then to see it happening and burn down, then let's say I live in Aventura, and next thing you know, a fire pop up in Aventura. And I'll never forget, my wife called me. I was on my way to the studio. So this is that Thursday. My wife calls me. She's like, yo, where you going? I said, I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm okay. We got our bags packed, we're good. Mind you, I don't have a bag packed. She packed my kids. She's packed. She has 4 or 5 bags downstairs. I have my cameras packed. That's all I got. I go to the studio because I want to drop some stuff off. She calls me and said, yo, I'm hearing there's a fire behind our house. I said, that's the fire in the Palisades. I saw the smoke. It's bad. It's not coming to us. We're good.
Yeah. She told me you was at the office. You was here at the studio.
She sends me a picture. I'm like, oh, shit. And then it's funny because that same moment you felt when you walked out of 311, you saw the fire, and you had that nut bust moment, I was sitting there like this.
Nut bust.
That moment where you're like, oh, that clarity moment where you're like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, it got real.
It got so real.
It got real. Because at first it was like watching a movie.
Yes.
Or until obviously you hear stories and people who are affected personally that you know. But at first it's like watching the movie.
And now you're in the movie.
Now you're in it.
And now they like, you have the evacuate. So I was coming to the house and I'm driving down Van Owen and there's fire trucks. All this activity happening around me.
Crazy, bro.
And I'm like this. Oh, and then now I'm getting like my buddy, I'm getting tight. Like my booty getting real tight because I'm like, oh snap, this is real. Yes. I'm being real as possible.
Said a lot of sexual things in the midst of.
See, but here's the thing though, because this is how I describe these moments. So I had to go up to my house the back way, and my son, God bless his soul, he could be so nonchalant, but he was the prepper that day too. Because when I got to the house, he was like, I gotta go pack, and he's like, I'll help you. My son is 10 years old. And he's like, I said, you know what? And Lisa's like, we gotta go. She's screaming, oh my gosh, you see the fire? We gotta go. She's like, oh, this stuff happening. I'm like, so now I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, oh shit. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take y'all to where y'all gotta go. Let me just get y'all where y'all gotta go. And I'm gonna come back. My son like, no, I got you. He started grabbing my camera equipment and started throwing it in the bag. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, no.
So it's smoke and fires behind your house, and you worry about how the camera equipment.
Nah, I was gonna leave it, and he was like, nah, this is what's making you gonna come back. I got you. Started throwing it in the bag. I'm like, you gonna bust my shit up now? And I'm like, but you know what? I appreciate how I said, you know what? This is serious for him at this moment. And I was
you see the way his mom is responding as well.
Like, so I was like, you know what? Whatever. I just grabbed a couple pieces of clothes, had my cameras, the rest of my camera stuff, and we left. And we went to a friend of our house, and then, and we're like, all right, we're good. Crazy thing is, the next day, they had to evacuate.
Yep.
So that's the wild thing.
And that's the wild thing. It was jumping around quickly.
So we went
Hollywood Hills was going up.
To 3 to 5 to 7 fires happening within a week.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a whole other conversation about how 7 fires. But my story time for me is this. So we get past all that. It's Sunday. We're back at the house, thankfully. And I'm telling my wife, let's go to the movies. Let's have a moment. We can watch Gladiator 2. Let's
normalcy.
Normalcy, So we go watch Gladiator 2, and we're sitting there, but my wife has her phone, so we have this chat with our neighborhood. And in the neighborhood chat, she has her phone on alerts all the time. And we're watching the movie. I don't know if you saw Gladiator 2, but we're literally at the climax of the movie. And as she gets an alert. she gets an alert, and it says, this is the fire in the back of the neighborhood, like showing like a fire. And she's like, look at the app. I think there's a fire back by the house. And I'm like, I go pull out my phone. I'm like, nah. She said, oh shit, oh bro. She literally, we gotta go. Get your shit, let's go. We run out. So we run out the movie theater. Mind you, I'm missing the rest. So now I don't even know who gonna die, who gonna live. I don't know shit. And I'm like this. Damn. I'm running out, and I said, I gotta use the bathroom real quick because we gotta drive. So I go run to the bathroom, and she's like, I gotta use the bathroom too. We went to the bathroom. So I pull out my phone. And I look at the text, and she's like, I'm gonna call Antonia and see who's at the house because she's trying to make sure because we got the nanny there. And she's like, yo, let's find out. We gotta get people out. We gotta go time. I look at the phone and it says, this is the fire from the other day. This is a video of it. And I said, so we got the bath. I said, did you read the message? I said, it says,
oh, wow.
It said from the other day. And she's like, I said, so we can go back to the movie theater now? And mind you, we get back to the movie theater, people done died, this stuff is happening. I'm like, man, let's go. I don't want to see this shit no more.
This is the reason I came here for this.
And now I don't even want to watch the rest of this movie no more. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, let's go. So I'm pissed. I don't kill it. But it was a little levity in the moment.
Yeah, which is needed. Like obviously it's a lot that went down in the moment and a lot of people were affected, but I think we all had to find we had to find some solace in the moment. We had to find some of that. Those you know what they say, what Mike Tyson say, you got a plan until you get hit in the mouth. Because I remember when Lisa was talking to me, Lisa and I had a conversation on Tuesday before when the winds was picking up. Hey, where you guys gonna go if something happened? Oh, okay, we're gonna go this way. We got rooms booked this way. I'm like, cool, we going that way too. Mm-hmm. Soon as everything happened, y'all gotta leave, we gotta leave. Y'all going the opposite way we go. I'm like, what happened to the plan? Why y'all going into the fires and I'm going away from the fires? I didn't understand it.
So what happened that day when I was at the studio, I got a call from Chris, CP, and he was like, he's in town that day, and he was like, yo, y'all good? I'm like, what you mean? Yeah, we good. And he's like, and I don't know, the fire's going on back in my house. And he said, yeah, we good. And then he's like, okay. And then CJ called me right after that. He's like, yo, y'all good? And I'm like, hold on, let me look at the Watch Judy real quick. I was like, oh shit, there's a fire by my house. So now I'm like, shit. So I'm running, and on the way he's like, yo, if y'all need somewhere to stay, Just come this way. So as soon as I pull up to the house, Lisa's like, where we gonna go? Where we gonna go? Because now, mind you, at this point, Lisa's like looking at me like, what's the plan? I'm like, you know what? Chris just said I can go by his house. We're going to Chris's house. And he got the space, we good, boom. That was great. But then the next day they had to evacuate. And that's just how crazy this moment was. It's just like you just never knew where it was going.
I had a friend of mine, talk to me about the fires in their community. And he was raised in the Palisades in their community. And, he was just painting a picture to me about his childhood is erased. Everything that he knows, his elementary school, his high school, the local, banks, the local parks, all the memories that he's had. Now, obviously, raising his kids there, the memories that they have now, their schools, their home, everything's gone.
Damn.
Flat. And just hearing him explain it to me, man, and then send me the photos of the community. And so I say all that to say, man, to all the people out there that is, that is affected, that will continue to be affected.
Right.
Even though we sit here today and we can find some moments to laugh about our process, it's families that will, it's going to take years for communities to recover. We talked about the Palisades because that's how it started, but Altadena,
right,
Pasadena, these areas that, were burned down and through, these families are going to take a long time to recover. So, our hearts and our prayers and our thoughts, go out to everyone who, has to start over and rebuild. And it does not matter what level of wealth that people think you are at, the level of celebrity that you are at. When you lose something, that you've worked hard and you put everything into, something that's for you, something that's for your family, that hurts. It's going to take a long time to recover and rebuild from those things. You're not going to get a lot of those memories and moments back.
Right.
You're not going to get those photos back. You're not going to get these things that you've worked so hard for. And so, my heart and my thoughts go out to all the families that are dealing with the long effect of these fires.
I drove to Pasadena. I had to go to the doctor's office last week, see a cardiologist, and I wanted to reach out to some of my friends that live out that way. And I'm in Pasadena, and I was like, yo, because you see a lot of people talking on the socials like, hey, some people got money, they doing all this, but I'm like, yo, pretty much people's lives, everything is gone. Like you have what you had when you left your house. Some people were at work when it happened. Some people were woken up out of their sleep when it happened, and all these things that happened, and you just you lost everything. So I feel like we have to have some empathy for those people, for everybody that lost something, because a lot of people lost things. You got whole communities burned down to the ground.
Yeah.
And that's a part I need people to understand. I'm like, yo, listen, whole cities burned down, and then those things.
Well, when you're watching it from afar, you don't get it.
You don't.
You don't get it. It looks like a movie to you. You
does.
Just watch it. And you like, oh, but you don't get it unless you're here. I say the one thing, and before we move on, is we go through this world that we all live in, and we all have different religious beliefs. We all have different political beliefs, and we all judge each other about beliefs, whether it's our different sexual beliefs or whatever it is. And there's a lot of judgment and there's a lot of conversation around those things. But in a time, in a moment like we just experienced, none of that shit mattered.
None of it.
I don't care who you voted for. I don't care, who you praying to. I don't care any of that. At that time, I care about your family. I care about your health.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was around a community of people, and I was just watching everyone, and everyone looked displaced. Everyone looked in disbelief, in shock of what was going on. And all we needed at that time was community.
Yeah.
And nothing mattered. I didn't ask anybody who they voted for.
Right.
Right? How you doing? How your family doing?
Right.
And so, man, I know we go through this world and everybody got something to say about what somebody doing, how somebody dressing, how someone looks, and who they decide to be with, and all this stuff that really don't matter. Because ultimately, what I discovered in that moment, it don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter how much fame you got. It don't matter how many likes you get on your photos, how many followers you got. We were all dealing with the same thing, and that is fear that our lives could be over, that our family lives could be over, and the things that we worked hard for could be gone.
Right.
And that right there, we all share in that, and it didn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. But so now, I will say this: one of the I guess bright spots, if you want to call it a bright spot, is that
Santa Ana wins.
this was the same thing that was happening last time. Hopefully, it turns out to be a lot better. Than last time. But as far
One of
as
the bright spots.
somebody got a little older. Another year around the sun.
Yeah, another year around the sun. It was a tough time to have a birthday.
Right.
Tough time to have a birthday because, it was not a celebratory moment in Los Angeles. And so, as my birthday is coming closer and closer, I'm sitting here like, I don't want to do anything.
Facts.
I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people are just getting back to their homes in LA after, having to evacuate. So I really wasn't planning to do anything. But my wife, she wanted to make sure that, we do something. And so we had a beautiful celebration for my 43rd birthday. Down at Jason Adair's new bar that has not opened yet, called Damn I Miss Paris. It's a vibe.
That is dope.
I appreciate them for allowing us to come into their space. But it was a time where we all needed to be together too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To touch each other and make
that.
sure we all right.
Yeah.
You feel me? I think that was the biggest thing for me to be able to have family and friends there, everybody coming from different places to come back to LA and just to experience each other, man, laugh, play some music, rap together, hug each other. It was a beautiful night, in that sense. And so I woke up on my 43rd birthday and I just wanted to golf. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just want to go out and golf. And I golfed with Chris Spencer and Flex. I never golfed with neither one of those guys before.
Pretty good.
So it was pretty good. Two funny guys, man. We had a great time out there. When I got home, I had a box from Li Ning at my house, right? And so I opened up the box. It's a shoe. I'm not even thinking. I'm not thinking nothing. I just see a shoe and I pull it out. It's a Wade 1, and it has my initials on it and all kind of stuff. And then it has number 43 on the back. My mind goes to sports immediately. I'm not thinking nothing about me turning 43 at this point because you start losing your age as you get older. I'm like, I'm 41. They're like, no, you're 42. No,
Yeah.
I'm 42. You start forgetting. And so I hit Li Ning and I'm like, yo, the company. I hit the company. I'm like, yo, how y'all know about my one game in high school where I wore 43? And they was like, what? Bro, that's your birthday shoe. You turned 43 today. I'm like, they didn't want to do research.
Research.
Found about the game where I left my jersey at home and I had to wear 43.
Bro.
And all along, it was just my age. So I say all that to say, man, to be able to turn 43 is a blessing.
It is.
And coming off of everything that we had just experienced in LA, it was even more of a blessing to be able to be here. I've been dealing with things. I had some health things that I dealt with at 41. And to be here at 43, to feel good, to look good, to be to be stable, to be around, to have my mind truly blessed, and that's all I really wanted to do was just enjoy just another day around the sun.
Beautiful.
And so 43 was nice.
Do you feel like does it feel different? Do you feel any different?
Nah, I felt like from 39 to 40, I felt the difference the next morning. I feel like from 40 to 43 has been about the same.
About the same?
Yeah, but I've been taking care of myself differently in my 40s. And so I actually feel better right now in my early 40s than I felt in my late 30s. And a lot of that is retiring at 37, a lot of injuries from playing sports, and then getting locked into the house in the pandemic and just drinking and eating everything and just watching TV. Like my body was toe up in my 38, 39 era. But now at 43, man, I'm in good shape. I stay on top of my body. We talk about all the things that I try to do. But most importantly, it's the mind. My mind is in good shape. I keep my mind sharp. And that's the one thing that I do not want to go anywhere. And so I keep my mind sharp on the things I'm trying to learn, on the things that like when I said, when I'm journaling, something that you and I talked about,
Yes.
last year. So I try to keep my mind sharp in the meditation moments, in the yoga moments, in the workout moments, all these moments, because if your mind go, and then, it goes downhill quickly. And so I feel good at 43, bro. Feel good.
I heard you saw that you did a dunk and everything.
Well, that was light work. I don't know if you saw. I had on sweats. I had on some soft shoes. It wasn't no grip. It wasn't no basketball shoes. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dash who threw me the lob. And I just out of the game. I went to see my godson, Devin. I went to see him play. It's so cool to be able to sit and experience high school sports.
Yeah.
One thing about it, but you put yourself right back into high school, and you like, bro, it's nothing like that. Those 4 years to be able to play sports before it started getting about anything else,
Right.
is the beauty of the game. And so to sit up there and watch my godson play, and then after the game, we do what we do. We get on the court. So we shooting, you know what I'm saying? We teaching moves.
I see
But
it.
then I try to dunk every year on my birthday. I created this deal for myself when I was in high school with my coach.
Right.
And I used to dunk so easy in high school. I'm talking about drop step. Once I'm 17, 18 years old, this is nothing. And my coach was like, yeah, you ain't gonna be able to do that forever. And I'm like, coach, I'll be doing this when I'm 50. Now in my mind, 50 was old. You 50 when I'm 17, you old as dirt.
Yeah, you old.
So I'm like, Coach, man, I'll be doing this when I'm 50. He was like, I bet you won't be doing this when you're 50. And so I'm 7 years away from 50 and I'm still dunking. So Coach, I'm coming.
Was it just a friendly bet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just a pride and ego bet. It ain't nothing to it.
Right.
But I remember it. I never forget it. And but it's just a challenge for me every year on my birthday around that time to see how I've taken care of myself, because it's been certain years on my birthday, like I said, in those late 30s, where that 10 feet looked like 12 and I could barely get up there and it hurt to come down.
Ooh.
We talk about it all the time with my old fella Dre. We talk about with Mike Finn. We talk about with all the older guys from the Chicago, man. We sit and we talk. It ain't you getting up. It's you coming down. So you see a lot of guys in the NBA, they can still dunk, but they don't. Because they don't want that pounding. And when you hit that ground, that force, you don't want that. So right now, my body feel good. I'm able to take that force. And so.
Any cool birthday gifts? Or what's the coolest birthday gifts you ever got? Let me ask you that.
I think they all cool.
Okay. Okay, that's
I think all gifts are cool.
Politically correct.
No, I think all gifts are cool.
Okay.
It's called a gift.
Oh.
I don't.
Okay, what would be a cool gift to give someone like you then? As long as
you can give me a pair of socks, bro.
And you be like, oh, that's
no, I'm cool. Like my thing is like, as long as it's something like, give me a hoodie that is a good hoodie that I want to put on when it's cold, or give me something I want to put on when I'm watching the football game or whatever. I don't care, man. Give me something that I can utilize.
Got you.
And so I've gotten a lot of gifts as people now getting a chance to know me. I've been getting a lot of like personal gifts and people following my my journey. I like wine. Send me some wine. Send me some wine glasses. Send me a wine opener. I don't know. I'm cool with anything that someone wants to spend their time and their money and their ability to give me gifts, because I don't need anything from anybody. I've tried to set my life up that way. Growing up in the way I grew up, I didn't want to depend on anybody.
Got it.
And so, like I said, at 17, when I made my mind up that basketball was what I was going to put everything into, I also made my mind up that I wasn't going to depend on anybody, that everything I needed for me would be given by me. Anything else that someone gives me, that's all the cherry. And so all the gifts is the cherry. So I appreciate all the gifts that I've gotten, and the people who go out their way to try to think about creative gifts to give you.
Right.
My mom gifts are my favorite though. Let me shout out to my mom. my mom gift is my favorite because it take me back to being a kid when your parents give you clothes. So my mom, she got me some clothes. She got me the outfit. She got me a fire fit. I'm a rocket.
That's dope.
I'm a rocket. She got me a fit, 1-of-1, made, custom made, and it's a big deal because my mama haven't shot for me in a long time. And so shout out to moms. So
let's get into 3-on-3, 3 different topics. One of the biggest topics right now, or shams like some people say, is TikTok canceling or shutting down.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Well, it paused.
Yeah, it paused.
We had a pause on TikTok.
Did you see all the lash afterwards? People like on their phones.
I'm not that heavy on it, social media. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Like I saw enough, you know what I mean? But I didn't see all of it. But I know that that's a revenue stream for people. And if it's a revenue stream for people and you're talking about taking away, I'm sure the backlash was crazy.
It was wild.
Yeah, I'm sure it was wild.
Yeah, and mind you, I don't have TikTok. I'm one of the old heads that be like, you know what? I've reached that now that I'm gone to this beautiful age of 47 that I'm one of those guys that be like, I'm not gonna get on that ticket to talk. I say that. That's what I do.
You like that?
I'm like
well,
that.
I think a lot of it when it comes to TikTok is we're, as older heads, we're a little uneducated of TikTok.
You're right.
We all think that TikTok is dance moves.
Yes.
We think it's about getting on there doing some new dance.
Like challenge and stuff.
But it's not. It's not just that. And so I'm not on TikTok often, but if I go to a new area or community or a place, I'm going to TikTok. Really? Because I want to find out if I want to go eat, I'm going to find out what's in that area. I'm not going to go to Google. I'm going to go to TikTok. Because TikTok going to give me not only the places to go, but they're going to show me video of people trying the food, talking about the food, showing me the restaurant, giving me the whole layout. And so TikTok has become, way more universal than some dance moves.
Doing the whole challenge.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's way more that I don't know, but I do see a lot of people using TikTok as this device that is important in so many different, facets of life outside of just dance moves.
I didn't even think about that. Now I might have to go open up a ticket to talk. Because it's back now, right?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I don't know what's going on when it comes to all this, the shifting of the power of, in this world. I heard that TikTok was going to go away. We've been around where we saw things that we like go away.
Right.
But I know when I went to it, it was said it was paused. You couldn't go into the app, and then I went back later that day, and it was open. And so I just know that it's a revenue stream that has been incredible for not only the U.S., outside of the U.S., but definitely the U.S. And so I never thought it was going nowhere.
So so I'm gonna tell you this. I think for me, I feel like somebody dancing on that roof. Like literally just tap dancing, taking the talking on that roof. But anyways, I looked at it, I've always like when the band came out or when I saw, because Lisa woke up and was like, yo, TikTok going. I'm like, okay. But then I heard about like, oh, Trump gonna get on office and then now he's gonna bring it back. I said, oh, he's doing I'm gonna save it. Dance.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you know what? Boom, I saved it. Turned water into wine. Boom, I saved. Oh, y'all got your money back. That was my intention, but I didn't know he brought it back that quick or came back that quick. So that's my thought process.
I don't know. I stopped talking about politics a long time ago. I'm not a politician. I'm not in politics, but I'm glad it's back. Whoever is the savior or not, it doesn't matter. To me, it's about the people who are utilizing that platform and how important that platform has become.
Right.
And so because of that, I'm glad that it's still around. I mean, listen, we can all talk about the good and the bad of social media and all the different, ways to use it. Some people use it the right way. Some people use it the wrong way. Like, for instance, and I'm glad you brought that up, like social media, right? I'm someone who posts on my stories. I post sometime on my feed, but, you have a team that will post some things on your feed. And I'm someone who really don't like read comments like that, but every now and again I do read some comments because some of them are from my friends. And then also too, I want to go down and see sometime what people are talking about. And so I posted a video of me coming out of the water. Y'all can roll that clip if you want to. Just show them how 43 is.
I saw that.
You saw it, right? You ain't comment. I went down the comments.
Yeah,
anyway, but I had a lot of comments that were nothing about me turning 43. That was nothing about my body, nothing about none of that. It was all about a lot of them was about my daughter. A lot of them about my daughter in my comments, right? And I say all that to say is, and I read the comments, and one thing I saw in the comments is someone said, I didn't read them all, but I read a few, and I saw someone said, D-Wade, turn off your comments. Turn off your comments. Because they were going in on my child. And I say that to say is, I'm never turning off my comments if I decide to be on social media. Sure. Right. If I decide to be on that platform, because if I want to turn off comments, then I'm not going to be on the platform. And the reason I won't turn off comments, not because of what people are saying is nice to me, because it's not, but that's not the way the world works. Everyone has a different opinion and different of opinions. And so the comments is there for people to have an opinion. Now, if I take those opinions personally, that's on me. Right. But I'm not telling people, hey, only comment on my page because you like me only or because you like everything I do. It's open for everybody to say what they want to say. True. That's what they have allowed. That's what we allow by being on the platform. And so I would never cut off my comments. Also, too, because I want to know how people think that's different than I. Because there's always a time for education, right? There's always a time for, moments where you see people saying something and they may have not had the same life experiences as you had. Copy. And so you can't even fault them for not having those life experiences. And so I actually enjoy sometimes actually reading some of the comments just to see, where people's minds are, in this world. Like if you read my comments from that, you would think that my daughter just came out. My daughter been out for 6 years. And y'all, this is what y'all talking about? Like our life is so not that. We post and we move on with life, but people are so infatuated with hate and being ugly. And so if that's what you need to do, if my page is an outlet for you to need to be ugly and hate, God bless you. But I'm not turning off my comments because this is something that you want to take time out to do, right? And so I wanted to make sure that as I was in my sauna this morning, I was reading the comments, I'm like, dang, they ain't say nothing about my abs.
But what's crazy? And that's, man, it was because of the abs I did, because I was looking at my abs, and that's why I ain't post. I ain't make no comment on it. So I was like, oh, he's
Don't
showing
hate
out.
on me because you done got into the dad bod and keep going.
I'm on the dad bod. You're right, but that's the reason why. But it's crazy you say that because I look at the fact that because you're my man's right, and your children are like my family too.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, you bigger than me, and I appreciate you act like you bigger than me. Because bro, sometimes I have to check myself to not. I have to check myself because I can go because again I tell people like listen, I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I come from a different place, and so it's so funny. Sometimes I get on and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that come in there and just be like just kicking doors and just going on Google search and just trying to find the people and knocking on their door. But I appreciate you being the bigger man because you inspired me. I ain't gonna lie, you inspired me. Your peace inspires me.
Yeah, listen. Like I said before, I go around the world. I travel around the world. I am approachable.
You are,
unless I'm eating or something personal going on, and sometimes I say, give me some time. But I'm approachable, touchable in that sense. 99.9% love that I get.
You do.
So for me to focus on someone's faceless comments to me, or voiceless comments to me, I'm not going to get anything accomplished in my life.
True.
If I allow that to be the thing. But I'll say that to say is, I still decide at times to look at things. Not all the time because I got too much going on in my life. But every so often I decide to take a look down off my mountain that I built for myself. You know what I'm saying? That I worked hard for, my mountain.
Flex.
To look at the fuckery. And so, but the fuckery is a part of the world. And you can't run from it.
You can't.
And so that was one of my reasons to say that. It's like, no, like it won't not affect me that way. You know what I mean? Because the people who matter are the people that I know. And they all have voices and faces. People who don't matter don't have that. And so, like I said, hey, my page is therapy for some people. They need to go into therapy.
All right.
But man, overall, like we said, great birthday was on Friday. First of all, if I'm a young kid and my birthday on Friday, the weekend's gonna be crazy.
Wow.
Like, think about that.
Wow.
We was in our 20s and they told you your birthday was on Friday, you ain't going to work on Monday.
No.
Because you're going to be fucked
Might not
up.
be that Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday going to be a struggle.
Nah,
it wasn't like that for me. I was right back into life. But I say all that to say it was just a great weekend of sports.
Nice.
To be able to have my birthday, to be able to be around family, but also too the weekend to be able to sit down and watch some football.
Oh man.
To watch some football at this time of the year.
It's a great time to be.
Talk to me about football. Talk to me. Neither one of our teams are in it.
No, none of them. No.
And I like it because I don't have to stress.
True.
So talk to me about what you watched this week.
My man called me last night, and at the time, there was an opportunity to have 4 black quarterbacks be in the championship games. It was a moment, but then obviously it didn't work out that way. But it was a moment for that, and I was like, "Yo!" And he's like, "Yo, just imagine if you have DC, the Commanders, and Baltimore be in New Orleans." He said, "Bro, Magic City's gonna be closed." I was like, yo, but it was like, just imagine that called the chocolate bowl, because it would have been beautiful.
The chocolate bowl is crazy.
It's gonna be beautiful, but that didn't happen, which is it is what it is.
The chocolate bowl is crazy.
But so now for me, I'm happy for Saquon, honestly. I'm real happy for Saquon because I feel like think about back in the day when running backs used to be like picked high because they were like they ran the team. And Saquon was picked high back when he was picked, back in 2018, I believe it was, with the Giants. And he had a great first few years and then kind of like
injuries.
Right.
He had a lot of injuries.
And they were just kind of like, he ain't got it no more.
Yep.
And for him to be doing what he's doing right now.
That is a beautiful, bro.
Yes.
You know how you want to get a middle finger to somebody?
And he hit them 2 big ones on the
middle. That's the middle of the middle.
So that's my dark horse. That's my horse right now.
That's your horse? Listen, I don't know because I change every time somebody wins. I change teams. I love being a bandwagon fan. I'm gonna go on a limb and say, hey, listen, if you ain't a bandwagon fan, you don't really know what it's like to watch sports. I'm with you. Right. Actually, I'm with you. And the reason I'm with you is because I am a huge fan of Jalen Hurts. I've been a huge fan of Jalen Hurts all the way going back to college. Just his whole trajectory, he's been high, and in the midst of being high, the next season or the next play or the next moment, he's been low, and then he's been high. and he continues to be the same individual through it all. And that's somebody who you're looking at to be, if somebody, when he retires, if you're looking at him to someone to run your company, someone that's has the stable, that can go through the highs and the lows of life. Like he's showing you that he has the characteristics to be an amazing person. Once he get done playing the game football. And so, big fan of his. Obviously, they got close like 2 years ago. But then you add Saquon Barkley. You add as an athlete. You add the story of overcoming. You add the story of proving people wrong. Right. And this is the greatest story of the year for me when it comes to that. Now, it's obviously a lot of other beautiful stories. Beautiful story in Kansas City. What Patrick Mahomes continues to do. You talk about them all regular season, whatever happened. When it come to playoff time, he gonna be there.
Yes,
he gonna be there. And so it's so many beautiful storylines. Lamar Jackson. Wanted to see Lamar Jackson get over that hump. Wanted to see him get to that game because he has so much talent. Probably MVP again this year. And it's not all on him. So many things that have to go right.
Your way, right.
So many things has to go right. And so it's unfortunate. But I'm with you, man. I'm wearing green and white right now. I'm wearing green. It even hurt for me to even say that. Because the Celtics and all that with the green. And so it hurt me to say that. But yeah, I'm wearing green and white right now at the crib. I want to see Philly do their thing.
I agree.
Even though they just did their thing a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Because I remember Kevin Hart was drunk on TV.
I saw that. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was hilarious, by the
way. It was. But I agree. I think it's for them. I think it's just, I hope it's their time. Well, I hope as a bandwagon fan too, because that's not my team. I hope as a bandwagon fan, that's their time this year. And they get a chance to enjoy that.
Big fan of Josh Allen. I'm one of the lucky ones to get a chance to go to the Masters. I've gotten the chance to go to the Masters the last 4 years, and I guaranteed every year. So, and get a chance to spend time with a lot of the football guys.
Right.
And so Josh Allen is one of the guys that I've gotten a chance to spend some time with away from watching him as a fan, and just seeing his, evolution as a quarterback, but him as a person, man, he's cool, bro. Cool to hang out with, good time. And so you want to see people like that when you get an opportunity to see them away from, the journalists or the sportscasters or, the people talking about them in their game.
Right.
You get a chance to meet them. And so shout out to Josh Allen at the season he's having. Obviously, it's an MVP type season as well.
True.
And it's just the reemergence of him at that position. He has a great future, obviously, but what he continues to do every time he gets knocked down well in his young career is going to determine how his career is going to, obviously pan out. So a lot of great storylines in football.
A lot of it.
Yeah, our team's not in it, but a lot of great storylines.
So one of the storylines that I heard last night, I saw either last night or this weekend, Eddie George is applying to be the head coach
For the Bears?
Yeah.
I think everybody's probably, besides Mike Tomlin, who I heard we were trying to get. I was looking at that like, that's not going to happen.
Stop it, guys.
But I'm sure everybody is trying to get that job.
What do you think about Eddie George though?
I don't know Eddie George as a coach.
Well, he's in Tennessee right now. Again, I don't know. I don't know if he's necessarily a good coach, but I thought that was interesting to see him as being one of the guys because I'm like, wow, okay.
Well, I don't know, bro. I have been in the process of hiring a coach before. It's a pretty cool process.
Okay.
Now, in Miami, when I played, I was not a part of the hiring of no coach.
None, not even.
We didn't have many. We had Van Gundy, Rouse, Spo. But I wasn't a part of the hiring of Spo. I was told Spo's taking over. I was like, okay. But, being an investor in the Utah Jazz, I had an opportunity to be a part of the coaching process.
Right.
It was such a cool process because, we each person, president, general manager, ownership, each person had a chance to sit down with the coach. And so I sat down with about 4 or 5 coaches, and I had my list of questions. As a player, being in the locker room, my questions was different than Danny Ainge's questions, or different than Justin Zennick questions, our GM, or different than Ryan's, our governor. My questions were different because I've been in that locker room before. What are you gonna do, coach? Right? And so it's a great process, man. And so I don't want to comment on what the Bears do on their coaching pick because I'm not in that room. You got to be in that room to be able to know if someone can really coach and what their ideas are of certain situations and how they're going to handle things, how you going to handle this player, how you going to handle this situation. So it was a cool process for me to be a part of.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about All-Stars coming, All-Star, NBA All-Stars coming up. You saw what they did as far as changing it up?
Yeah, I don't understand it yet, but they added something.
Oh, let me help you out here.
Yeah, listen, it's so many things going on in
It
sports
is.
of adding additiveness, which is not bad, but we only get press releases. And so
I agree.
I don't understand all the breakdown in a press release.
Right, and this may not be the full format, but it's supposed to be tournament style: 3 All-Star teams and 1 Rising Stars team.
Mm-hmm.
The All-Star teams will be picked by Charles Barkley, Shaquille, and Kenny Smith.
Got a TNT crew.
And the Rising Stars team will be made up of first and second round G League standouts. The winning team in each game will be the first to score 40 points. The tournament will have 2 semifinal games and a championship game, and each player on the winning team will receive $125,000. My question to you: are you a fan of this or not? For you, if you were just imagine if you were playing right now, would you be a fan of that or not? Or do you like the old story?
What age am I? If I'm one of the old heads, not a fan of change.
Okay.
If I'm one of the new younger guys,
let's say 2013, Dwyane. So you still playing? You still doing the heaters?
I wouldn't have been a fan.
Really?
Only because I'm an old head and I'm stuck in my ways. You know what I mean? It is a lot of it is you ain't gonna be around to see it through probably, right? The change through, but also too you become accustomed to what you accustomed to. Like the All-Star games when I came in, like they were gambling in the locker room, and I was sitting there like, I'm a little kid. I'm 20. I was 22 years old my first All-Star game, and I get to go in there and I'm in the locker room with all these like people who I've grown up wearing their jerseys and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just want to walk in the locker room and they in there and they gambling, they talking shit. There's big money on the table and I ain't got no bread. Big money on the table, halftime gambling, like all this, like just the locker, the vibe, right. The culture, the Allen Iversons of the world, the Vince Carters of the world, like the guys that we had, like all these stars.
Right.
And then we just went out there and hoop. Like we just hoop. And so now when you start adding a lot of things to it, it becomes not the game no more. And I think that's what people don't understand. It's so much around All-Star Weekend, it is not about the game. True. But the media and the conversation comes out is, well, the game sucks. It's 1 million appearances that has to be made. Even on game day, you got to be at the arena at 4. The game don't play to 8. You ain't doing nothing but taking photos with people and doing, man, it is crazy. And so it's not about the game.
Right. Okay.
Right. And so we're making it about the game because the game is not giving us what we want. But they've been made it about other things in the game when All-Star Weekend has went from when I first came in, where, guys were just happy to be there together, enjoying time together, hanging together, to now you barely see people All-Star Weekend because everybody got something to do. Everyone got a business partner, a brand to do, a podcast to do. It's so much going on around the weekend that the game is not the focus. And so you can put all this stuff in there to hopefully make it competitive, but ultimately you got to put the focus on the game. And the focus is not on the game. By the time you get to that game, you are so tired. All the things we had to do, All-Star Weekend, all the appearances we had to make from the NBA and also too from the if you got partnerships and the deals that you have to have and your team wants you to do this and bro, it's too much going on. By the time I get to that game, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. Sleepy. And so you see guys, like older guys, when I got in there, they wasn't playing. They like, yo, bro, yeah, D, you only play all the minutes. You know what I'm saying? So just a different time. I would have been a little stuck in my ways because I experienced what it was to be an all-star, from the early years. And then once it started changing, and you don't really want to be a part of that. But for the next generation, that's all they know. That's all they're going to know. So the NBA is trying to find it.
Right.
Ultimately, the only way I think is going to be competitive again if you just make it about the game. And I think that's tough because there's so much money to be made that week that it's not just about the game.
So much. Well, okay. Do you know who's the leading vote getter right now? Isn't it LaMelo?
I mean, it's a lot of leading vote getters. But shout out to LaMelo. We talked about LaMelo right here. Shout out to, I know LaMelo is one of the leading vote getters for guards in the Eastern Conference.
It's the changing of the guards because back it's not no longer, obviously so it's no longer the LeBrons and the Durants as the main guys anymore. It's not these young guys.
Yeah.
Do you think this is officially the changing of the guards?
Yeah, it happened already. I mean, the legends, the KDs, the Browns, the Stephs, and the James Hardens, and those guys. I mean, they're going to always get the love and respect. The Kyries, these guys won't get the love and respect, that they deserve. But it's they know, and that's what they want. You want the next generation to be able to come in and be great and be at that level before you leave the game. You want to know when you're walking away, oh, they got it.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And you feel good knowing that they got it. And so they got it, from the standpoint of the talent, and the game is just different. And so if you're comparing your game to their game, then you're just going to be comparing. The game is different, the mentality is different, but the talent level, they got it, right? From that standpoint. And so it's always great to see when a young guy get his first nods. We talked about this. When a young guy get his first nods into the All-Star game, it's always a special moment for him and his family. It will never not be, right? Because of what it means, because that means you're one of the elite players in the game, right? It's a lot of players in the game, 400 plus players in the game. But when you're able to get that call to be one of ones, that's always going to be special. And so, yeah.
Now, did you see the whole Snoop debacle this weekend?
Yeah, I've seen it all. I've seen all that. Yeah.
So, as you're watching, now again, we love Snoop. I love Snoop.
I wasn't watching.
No, I didn't watch it. But did you? Did you see? So, for example, I saw the old clip.
Oh, the clip that went viral with Snoop.
Yeah, the old clip of what he said.
I saw that.
So now I'm like, so do you think, as far as like looking at yourself, as far as your team, is that your team's job to remind you? You remember you said this about 2 years ago, or is it about the bread? And you say, fuck it, I don't care what I said 2 years ago.
You asking me my opinion on it?
Yeah.
You know how I think, Bob. I think everybody has an opinion about somebody else's life, and they probably shouldn't have.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we all feel, a lot. Not we all. A lot of people feel like they're old answers. Like you better give me an answer for your actions, right? Like we're in that era now where you got to give an answer for your actions.
Right.
That happens privately or publicly, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, if that's the game you're gonna play, and then people are waiting for an answer from Snoop and Nelly and the individuals that that performed. But ultimately, I listened to Nelly's interview actually about it, and what Nelly said is he was like, man, I'm performing for the office, the position. You know what I mean? And it's one of the highest honors and achievements that I've gotten. And he pretty much said he was like, other people have been in office and they haven't asked me to come and perform. And so I'm performing for the position of the office. And so everyone's going to have their, you shouldn't do that because of what the person in the office represents. And it's going to be a lot of stuff going back and forth. And I can't say that anyone's wrong on their opinion that they're going to have on someone. But ultimately, everyone just got too much opinions about what people decide to do for their lives. You don't know why someone made the decision to do something.
True.
What financially? You don't know what conversations have been had. And so I don't know, man. I just feel like just because you believe in something don't mean someone else has to believe in something. Just because you would do it this way don't mean someone else has to do it that way. It's just the world we live in. Like, oh, I believe this, so you got to believe this. I don't even know you. Why do I got to believe what you believe? And so I just, if they decide to come out and comment on it, then I listen to the interview and we'll talk about it internally. But ultimately, that's not my work. That's not my decision to make. And so I have nothing to say, good or bad, about what someone decided to do with their talents. That's just once again, I'm out of politics. That's not the world I want to focus on.
Right. That's it.
That's it for me.
I get it.
What we doing later is my focus. My focus is not what someone else did. My focus is what we doing after this.
Right.
What I got to do for my kids. I got, you know what I mean? And so everyone's worried too much about what everyone got going on, what they doing. When Snoop get a chance to talk, that's Uncle Snoop. He gonna always be Uncle Snoop.
Facts.
And so when he decided to talk about why he decided to take that stand, and from what he said from the video that went viral, we're all listening. But ultimately, at the end of the day, for me, he did what he wanted to do and what he felt that that was right for him and his talents, and in that moment. And so,
rock and roll.
Ain't got nothing to do with me.
Hey, I get it. Hey. Then before we go, I want to talk about
try to smoke one with him. Come on, and I want him to come and sit on the pod. I still want to get Snoop to pull up on the pod.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. And did you see the movie, Keke Palmer's new movie?
I did not. I heard about it.
I saw it.
I heard about it. Talk to me about it.
It's great. It is.
It's a comedy?
It's a comedy. It reminded me of, it's so interesting. It reminded me of it gave me Friday vibes.
Okay. So it's SZA and Keke Palmer.
They killed it.
They killed it.
They killed it. Like so it's funny. We was on. Me and Lisa were looking at. All right, let's go watch the movie this weekend. And we looked at. She's like, let's see the Rotten Tomatoes. It was like 90-something%. And I was like, yo, let's watch it. Yo, we were dying. It's been so long since we've seen a movie that you can just kind of just laugh at this random dumb shit.
No, I have not seen it.
But I recommend it. I'm gonna give it. Okay. I'm gonna give. I don't know.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. So, Keke Palmer's from family and from Robbins, Illinois.
Really?
Just FYI, if you didn't know that.
I did not know that.
And I've said it before. I said it again. Shout out to Keke Palmer. We were both from Robbins.
That's dope.
Her family, yeah, she was there when she was young.
So what you got in your hands?
This was in my bag. So mind you, I still got my bags packed. Yes, because we're not out of it.
Okay.
Now, mind you, when I packed, this is what I packed. I packed 3 sweatsuits, 3 t-shirts, socks, drawers, 3 pair of shoes. That's all I packed.
3s.
In my bag. Everything was 3s. And then I took my carry-on bag. My carry-on bag had my journal, birth certificate, passports, a little bread that I had in my crib, and
the black pouch?
And this.
Oh, I heard a clink of clink.
I had a couple trading cards in there too. My son trading card when he played in the G League, like his first card, my rookie card. Like I grabbed those, but I didn't grab everything. But I did grab these. I don't even know why. I decided to grab my Chambers Hill rings.
Which you have 3 of too, by the way.
Which I have 3 of. I went back in the crib. Like, it was like the last thing I grabbed, right? Like, within 10 minutes, like, we had to take everything. I had to put it all in the cars. I had 3 cars. I was like, we taking this car, and this car. These others. And then I went back, and my wife was like the last one coming down. I was like, oh. So I went upstairs, and I grabbed my little black pouch because I didn't want to leave the house without 06, 12, and 13. So I had them in my bag. I thought I'd just show y'all just in case y'all ain't seen what these look like. You know what they do? You want to pass them around? Yeah, you want to touch them. Hold on. You can pass these around to everybody in the studio. You want to touch them, put them on?
I'm
here y'all go. This is 6, 12, and 13. Yeah.
So I damn. I get it though. I get it. So it's the so you left your house and you opened up. Let me get this right. You opened up the safe, and there was all kind of stuff in there.
I had already went in there and grabbed my passports out the safe.
And you just grabbed these 3 things.
That's it. No watches, no jewelry, no earrings, no nothing. I just grabbed my 3 championship rings.
And what'd you call them again?
That's 6, 12, and 13.
6, 12, and 13.
Yeah, that's 6, 12, and 13. Yeah, I grabbed them, man. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But
when was the last time you put them on?
Photo shoot?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, photo shoot, Versace, campaign. Shout out to Versace. Versace campaign. But you know what? As I thought about it, I asked myself, I said, why did you grab those 3 rings?
Really?
Like, you're still a 3-time champion without the rings.
I'm pretty sure you can get these made again.
Man, listen, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifices to get those rings. I was in heat culture for 16 years. I'm grabbing those rings. I'm grabbing those rings. Listen, listen, mind you, I have the 3 Tiffany trophies. Couldn't grab those. Could not grab those things. So I grabbed 6, 12, and 13, baby. 6, I think we should do the pod with these sitting out. Every time.
I get the theme going on right now. I get it. I understand you're gonna grab things that are like personal to you, like that connect to you.
Yeah, it's very personal to me, man. And like even thinking about these moments, like when I get the chance to see teammates every time, like whether someone DMs me, whether someone is doing something where I'm getting a chance to see them in person, when I get to see teammates from these years, man, just the all the memories come back. They come rushing back. When I sit here on this pod, I can't think about everything in 6, 12, and 13. But when I'm around teammates and people who we've went through this together, this bond, this forever,
right.
A lot of stuff come back, man. And so I had a lot of memories come back to me this weekend just by looking at these rings that was in my bag. That, just stories and just, moments and just like understanding, like, I think for me, these are just show me like, what I can accomplish more so than anything. Like, I don't wear these rings, but if I get a chance to pull it out, this one says franchise best 66-16 record, 27 game winning streak, 27 games in a row. This is back-to-back. This is the back-to-back joint right here. And so, it just allows me to think about the things I accomplished, man. And like when you're in a space in life, when you're turning 43, when you become, I think I grabbed them because I'm entering a new space in my life. And I tell my kids this: no matter what I've accomplished, I'm actually in the same boat as my 20 soon to be 23-year-old son where he's trying to figure out his next path in life.
Right.
At 43, I am doing the exact same thing. Now, do I got a little cushion in the bank and all the things? Yeah, I got a cushion because I've worked hard for that. But I am still in the space where I have to reinvent and invent myself at 43 years old. And so sometimes you got to go watch your old highlights off YouTube. Man, I'm watching my old highlights sometimes because I need to go into this meeting. I need to go into these conversations like you're him. You're that guy. This is what you can do. This is what you've overcame. This is what you've been a part of. And so I think a part of me, intuition, inside of me, grabbed them because, I'm tough. Whenever you're turning a new age and the older you get, you're always thinking about what you're not doing, what you have not done. You're becoming less and less of yourself as you older you get.
Right.
And you need reminders sometime of who the fuck you are.
So we got a new segment because, our boy D Rice not here.
D Rice on the road. D Right on the road. D Right out there. He has some personal things he has to handle, but he also too, we got our brand Ace. And we talked about here on the show, our golf brand Ace that we're trying to build. And D Right is out there going to golf tournaments, building relationships for the Ace brand as we're trying to continue to build, build that out and what that looks like. So he's on the road doing D Right work, doing Ace work, and all the things. And so, yes, we have a new episode today.
You want to call it?
It's called Ken's Corner.
Ooh.
We're going to call it Ken's Corner today.
Ken's Corner.
We're going to call it Ken's Corner today.
I like that.
So my brother, he always sits on the sideline and he always watches the show. Well, today we're going to pull up a chair right here and we're going to actually bring him on the show.
Come on down.
Come on down. Kenneth.
Come on now, Kenneth. So we're back in Ken's Corner. And welcome to the pod.
I like that, man.
Ken is the unofficial sideline host of the Y. Ken has been here since day one of the Y on the side, taking notes. Y'all might have heard some of his laughter in the wind down when we were shooting the wind down. But this is your first time sitting under these lights in this seat, brother. How you feeling?
I mean, it's an honor, man. Look, to my left, we got 6, 12, and 13.
Yeah. 6, 12, and 13.
And I got my guy Bob. I'm good.
All right, man. So today is Ken's birthday, January 20th. He is that Capricorn, Aquarius, that border.
Yeah.
That borderline right there.
Yeah, that Capricornius.
That Capricornius. But it's also Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
We're celebrating, obviously, what we've been celebrating our whole life, and that's the history of somebody that we've admired as a Black man for everything that he stood for. And so having a birthday on the same day as Martin Luther King, talk to me about how you feeling at 35 years old. Talk to me how you felt this morning when you woke up. Talk about your day, bro.
Man, first of all, thank y'all again. Man, I feel good, man. 35. You were talking about your birthday, right? So, we 3 days apart, but everybody's like, what you doing for your birthday? But I'm here in LA. So we just was dealing with, what we're dealing with the fires and everything. So the plans just started to change, started to flow.
Yeah.
So now for me, it's just like, man, I just want to be around my people and flow and go from there. And so I'm happy, man. I woke up happy. Like, that was the biggest thing, just like excited. I tell people I don't start my new year on January 1st. I start on January 20th. So, whether you're getting cut off, whether you make it to the new year.
Ooh, talk about it when you like getting cut off.
You got 20 extra days to get it together, right? So
I like that.
I like that.
That go for myself too, as far as like when I, so.
So you don't put the pressures on yourself of January 1st, New Year start. I got to have all these.
No, my New Year is January 20th.
Talk about it.
So. But I feel great, man. I'm just blessed. I'm happy. I had a great 34. 34 was amazing, and so I'm just excited for what's right here. What's right here. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Bob.
So, any big plans for this year coming up? Because 35 was so fly. What do you want to
Big plans. I would just say, like, man, just been able to live more into even more into what I've already been doing. Like my New Year, not resolution, but it's like reallocation. Like that's something that I was talking about. It's just like, we already allocated at 100% right now. But some things within that 100% is 20%, 5%. I'm talking where you spending your money, where you spending your time, your relationships, your goals, different things like that. So my big focus this year is just reallocating. that way I can maximize, and optimize how I'm operating, as this machine. So I wouldn't say big plans that I'll put out there right now, but it's always big plans.
I like the reallocation, though. I like that terminology. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Did you, when you were young and you thought about, like, we all think about milestones in life, and as you start getting older, 35 becomes one of those milestone years.
For sure.
Right? What was your idea of what 35 would look like for yourself?
Yeah.
And what it was supposed to look like for your mama expectations or all those things.
Say that part.
What was 35 supposed to be?
Old as fuck. Like, being honest, like, but no, man, mom's expectations, married, kids, multiple kids, big crib somewhere. Like, I don't know where I was gonna be living, Chicago or Cali, but for me personally, to be honest, I never really thought like 35. Like, once I hit 21 and then 25, it was just like, I look at it in 5-year increments, but it's just like, it's just individual goals. Like, I'm very present. So even now at 35, like, people like, man, you married, you got kids, this and that. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, by the way. And nothing wrong with that. I'm just letting you know my situation.
You know how my shit's
but it's not like when people ask me, I don't feel a pressure. Like, I don't wake up, I love kids. I don't wake up with baby fever when I see kids doing cute stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't wake up thinking about marriage and I don't wake up not thinking about it, like it's a negative, but like I'm just present in like accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish for my life.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I love that for you. So 35, big 35, man, here on the Wide Network. It's important for us to always to show love, and the love that we want to show is to you on your day.
Man, love.
And so,
love.
man, we wanted to sit you here for a quick moment. We also too want to make sure, man, you get a happy birthday from us.
Love.
As we
I got a cake.
So everybody,
man,
at the Wide Network on 3,
yeah.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Big 3-5.
Yes.
Happy birthday, dear Kenny. Happy birthday to you.
Love.
Make a wish. And many more, brother. Make a wish, man. Celebrating
That's love.
our first on-camera birthday here on the Wide Network.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
You know, you don't supposed to do this, but before we wrap, they start doing this. What you wish for? You know, when you was young, they say no one can ask you what you wish for. You don't supposed to say.
Yeah.
We older now. We make our own rules up.
Yeah.
What you wish for?
Well, I'm still young.
So you don't believe it yet?
I ain't gotta
you ain't in
tell
your
you
port.
yet.
You ain't at that place yet. All right. You ain't got to say nothing.
Thank you. So
Thank y'all.
hold on. So we here. Thank you. Happy birthday again, brother.
Thank you. Love.
We have a special guest.
Special guest.
to the studios.
There she go.
There she go. Hello. Say hi on the microphone.
Hi,
What's your name? Introduce yourself. That's our camera right there. Introduce yourself. That's daddy camera right there. What's your name?
Kavya,
All right, Kavya. Kavya what?
James,
What else?
Union Way.
Kavya James, Union Way. How old are you?
I am 6.
You're 6. Okay, let's not put that in my mouth. All right.
So thank you for joining us today. I'm Bob.
I'm Dwyane.
I'm Kenny.
And
Kavya.
we appreciate you guys tuning in to the Y. Peace.